Whereas for this tutorial, we're gonna be repurposing this piece of geometry in here, this building. We're gonna turn it into something unique as in piece of geometry. We're gonna detach it from the rest uh, of the buildings in here because we do not need it. And the reason for that is that we're going to be using it with this free resource that you can find on 5 mods, GTA 5 mods. Um, there's a free interior in here that you could use it in exactly the same location. But if you want to relocate this one into a different part of the city and not be stuck with this position alone, you can separate this building in here and relocate it to a different part of the city to do whatever the hell you want with it. So, CodeWalker, select, enable the select object and move. And this is the name of the geometry that we're interested to and we need to work with. And you have the RPF Explorer running. Set the name, search for the name. Then double click on the geometry on the YDR, and this is the only bit of geometry that we're interested in, and we're gonna be removing everything else but this. So expand this, go to materials, save all textures. Make sure you save your stuff in a new folder so you do not overwrite the textures. Do it again with the shared textures. And then after exporting all that stuff, right click, export to XML, and save it in the same directory where you save the textures. Then you go to Blender right here and have the YDR.xml in here. Drag and drop it into Blender. This only works if you have Storms installed, and already, if you watch this tutorial, most likely you do. Then you go to File, External Data, find missing files. Then you go to the directory where you save the textures, find missing files. So we now have the textures for the whole thing in here. Next, we go to Edit Mode. So select the geometry in here. Let's rename this one. It's very important that you give it a unique name so it doesn't interfere with vanilla files. And do not use spaces, do not use uppercase, just lowercase and underscores for the name. So object mode, you now go to edit mode. Then you go to wireframe and X-ray. So you have to select those two options in here. Just drag and drop, drag the with the mouse over the building that you're interested in, and then press Ctrl I to invert the selection like that, and press delete and select faces. So we isolated the building that we're interested in, and we're gonna be removing extra geometry in here because we do not care about those walls in here. The way I want to use it is without the walls in here. It's not going to be a parking area. It's not going to be any of that. I just want the building. So if you want to do that, I'm holding shift to add to the mouse selection. Again, you're not going to be able to do that unless you have the X-ray and wireframe enabled. Kind of position yourself on top of the geometry here so you only select the faces that you want to remove. With that, go back to texture view, disable X-ray, and press delete, select faces, and we have a completely cleaned up piece of geometry in here, like that. I do not know exactly what this guy did with the interior, where exactly are the gaps for the doors, but I assume that he did a good job and he actually respected Rockstar geometry, and he didn't mess up the door frames. So that's an assumption. I do not know exactly what he did in there, so it's going to be up to you if you want to do it or not. But if you want to remove the gaps, if you want to create the gaps for the garage door, the back door, and the windows, this is how you do it. So you select the triangle, hold shift, select another triangle, add more stuff to the selection, like that. Then go around, then press delete, select faces. We got more stuff going on. Faces again and again. So we created the gaps. Looks like this is quite clean. We have a little bit of extra stuff in here where the door handle was. So gonna be removing those faces too. We do not need them. Assuming again this guy knew exactly what he was doing and he actually respected the topology that was in place. Press delete, faces. So we now have a cleaned up exterior. Next, I will be centering this to the world, because again, this is not a vanilla piece of geometry anymore, it's custom. So get out of edit mode. We're gonna do object set origin mass to volume, then object snap to cursor, and then I'm gonna rotate it so it's aligned XYZ with the world. So with the geometry selected, press R, hold Control, and double snap will make Blender snap the geometry in 5 degrees increments. If you want to make sure that it's actually perfectly aligned, press number 5 on the keyboard. So you go to orthographic view right here. Looks like we messed up. All right, so go to orthographic view. And RZ. Then see the building from the top. It should be aligned with the world. Like that. Perfect. Go back to perspective. Press number 5 on the keyboard. I'm just gonna hide. And we are gonna be embedding the textures, because if you remember, this looks like this resource has its own dictionary, and that means some of the texture will not be included into geometry. We're gonna be embedding the textures into this piece of geometry. So what I've done, I held Control and press space. You can hide the panels in here to make room for your stuff. Go to shader view in here. Collapse everything all the way to Solums, texture parameter, and we're going to be selecting shaders one by one and double check that everything is embedded in here. So we're going to start from the top. I'm going to be using arrows up and down to cycle through the shaders, see exactly which one does not have embedded textures. So arrow down, the default, we're going to copy the name of the texture. We're going to click on the folder icon, go to where the textures were saved and search for the name, and we're going to selecting embed. and go through every single one of them one by one until we find every single one of them. So this is the normal. Underscore n is the normal. That means it's the blue image. And keep on doing that. I know Solvents has an option to embed the textures, but it's like hit or miss. It doesn't always work. And because I'm a kind of a paranoid kind of a person, I like to manually check everything. It's in order. So Solvents does have that option. I just don't trust it. That's all. I've had multiple. So this is 002. Who's going to be the top one? So this is underscore n. And this is going to be underscore s. We're almost done. Right, well, I'm going to be cycling through all the shaders, make sure that everything gets embedded. And it is. Next, we're going to be exporting this piece of geometry that's customly named. I don't know if I want to keep the lights in here. I think I will, but I'm not certain that actually the lights work the way I want them to work. But just for this example, I'm going to leave them there. So select the top hierarchy in here, go to Solums. And this is already converted. We have some modifiers in here. I'm going to remove every single one of them because this is going to be just tinting. We do not care about this stuff. And with the top name selected here with the parents, go to General, Export Codeworker XML. Then go to RPF Explorer, go to the directory. I'm supposed to have this on the desktop. And go where you have your files in here. And make sure you're in edit mode in RPF Explorer. And drag and drop the ydr.xml. And code, RPF Explorer is going to convert your geometry into something that you can actually use in game. It's going to look like that. One thing you still have to do, unless you want to do it in a different way. So this geometry right now does not have collisions, and it's important that you understand that if you put this in game right now, you're just gonna walk through the walls. It doesn't have collisions. So to make to check if the geometry that you just modified has collision, you access the Options tab and you go to collision, show collision meshes. The moment I click this one, this will disappear because it doesn't have collisions. Well, it doesn't disappear, but it doesn't. The texture geometry, it doesn't. The untextured geometry is not going to be showing true. And let me show you how to embed collisions into this. So we select the geometry in here. We're gonna be copy the name, select, press delete. Okay, I'm gonna delete the lights in here. Right click, select hierarchy, delete. Then we have this piece of geometry. We're gonna name it exactly like previously. And then we're gonna go to Solums, drawable, create drawable object. And make sure that the option where it says how to embed collisions is checked. If you do that, it will automatically create collisions for you from this geometry. Convert to drawable. And the way you know that you have collisions is by reading the names. So if it has .bvh, that means those are collisions. And when it says .model, that means this is the drawable. So let's set a material. We do not need shaders because again, this is, let's hide the drawable. I'm holding shift and click the eye. Select the top, the first shader on top. Again, this is very important to visually distinguish between the drawable and the collisions. BVH is the collision, and collisions do not have shaders, they only have materials. So once you have that selected, the .poly underscore mesh under .bvh, you go to material and you remove every single one of them. And just to help you realize what's the difference between those two, if you enable the drawable again and hide the collisions, you will still have the you never lost the textures in here. It's just for the collisions, which do not make use of textures. So now with that poly underscore mesh selected, again on the collisions, for the collisions, you go to collisions, expand, create collision material, and you can just select concrete. If you want to add multiple materials, you can do that if you want. But I'm just gonna do the concrete, create collision material, select it in the list, select the collision in the 3D view, click on it, enter edit mode, press tab or select it from the menu in here, press A to select all the triangles, and then on this area in here, click assign, and then move the mouse over the 3D view, exit edit mode, press tab or select it from the menu, and kind of done in here. And I will be re-exporting the geometry, enable the drawable, collapse everything but general, and then export CodeWalker XML again. Took 5 seconds. Go back to where you were in here. Then access the RPF Explorer. go to where you convert your. So this is 2.7 megabyte. After adding the collisions, it's a bit bigger, and it should show the collisions. So this is what I was talking about. If the moment you enable collisions, the textures for the drawable will disappear. Is how you know you have embedded collisions into your geometry. Okay, we're gonna go back. We're gonna creating. I already created a folder, a directory on my resource server side. It's gonna be localhost resources, and then you should have a stream folder where you have your stuff, and then a new folder where I created the particular for this tutorial. So take the YDR, drag and drop it into the resources on new folder. So you only have the YDR in here. Then go to CodeWalker. You go to, so right now this is kind of dead to us. It doesn't matter anymore. So let's say you want to do it for whatever reason, you want to relocate it and have an MLO in here, right? So we're going to be adding this exterior right here on this location, just for illustration purposes. So go to open folder. It's very important to use open folder and no other option. It's very, very important. And you go to the directory where you save the YDR, copy the path from the address bar, paste it in the address bar in the CodeWalker, and select folder. You're not going to be seeing anything because it's only one YDR. And then you go to new YMAP file. I like to name my files exactly the same as a resource, because if I search for this particular exterior, Highman, I'm going to be finding all the files that are related to this mod. So select the YMAP name, click on the save icon, and save your stuff in here. We're going to be creating a new Y type. Select the Y type in the list, click the save icon, and copy paste the name, save some time, like that. After you created the Y type, this is very important, and you guys keep ignoring that and show up on my Discord. It doesn't work, the tutorial doesn't work. Just fucking follow the steps that I'm showing you. After you created the Y type, the Y map, blank, nothing in them, close the project window, all right? It's very important. And then reopen the same folder again. And you should have 3 files in this directory right here, right? Only the YDR should have any data into it. So we now select the Y type. Again, this is very important to not skip this. You do it in exactly the same order I am doing it. Select the Y type, new archetype from YDR. Select the YDR. Make sure it shows in the list here archetype 1. Click the save icon. Again, close the project window. Do not fucking skip the step, and open folder. And now, if you expand the Y type, you should see in here the name of the drawable that you just inserted. And then you go to select the YMAP, new entity, and put the name of the exterior instead of the egg. If you do it exactly the way I showed you how to do it, you should not have a problem spawning the exterior here. So you can kind of place it whatever you need it to be placed, and rotate it as you please. If you want to snap it to a certain degree, rotation snapping on, off, or whatever you need it, and fine tune the rotation as you need it. This will also come, this is a really bad location for this particular exterior, but I'm just trying to show you how to do it. And the moment you have the interior, this is exactly how you place the interior inside, well, what appears to be a different piece of geometry into this. So it just puts that MLO, the YMap, in the collision file name from the free resources that you can get it from that guy, and place it inside this side, this side, this piece of geometry. So you now have the YMap. Save. Close the project window once more. After you saved everything, reopen it, and everything should show here exactly this way. One last thing that you gotta do: tools, manifest generator, generate save manifest YMF, and name the manifest file and save it. So you now have a total of 5 files for this mode alone. So it's 4 files. Manifest, yeah, because we do not have the other trouble. We do not have a dictionary. I'm used to seeing the dictionary, but we embedded the texture, so we do not have a dictionary. 4 files. This is all you need as in new piece of geometry, a custom mod for this exterior. That's pretty much all you need. At this point, if you structured properly your mods in here, as in stream, and added the mod name like I have teaching, no, it's MFW. If you properly added the resource in the configuration file, all you have to do right now is restart the server, go to this location, and you should see the exterior. Next thing you want to do, get this interior and place it right under this exterior, and that's it. You should be golden now. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye.